Here is my new Alienware Aurora. I made my custom order on June 4th and it arrived 2 weeks later on the 18th. Something I didn't really like is the FedEx info shows it originates in Juarez, Mexico. And this is a city on the Mexican side of the border, just opposite of El Paso, Texas. So let's take a look inside. You got to remove this one Phillips head screw. And then you pull on this. And then push this to the unlock position. And then you remove this bracket. There's 2 Phillips head screws. And then you set the power supply to the unlock position. Here's a look inside. The graphics card has this brace. It's got liquid cooling. There's the RAM. The SSD is under there. Everything is nice and tidy. All the wiring is really clean. There's a big old case fan in the front. And the liquid cooling fan is at the top. In the bottom of the case are 2 caddies for SSDs. And there's also some wiring. You'll need to supply a SATA cable. I have a 2 terabyte Samsung Evo that I'm going to add to the computer. And there's 2 SATA ports on the motherboard right there that are easy to access. And up here is another hard drive slot. And this one has a SATA cable and some power supply cables. And here's where I installed the 2 terabyte Samsung SSD. Okay, everything's been going good so far. One of the first things I do is make a recovery drive. And it basically just puts Windows on a bootable USB. This is a 32 gigabyte flash drive. And it's making the recovery drive. Okay, it's all finished. Now I'll be able to reinstall Windows if the hard drive crashes. Taking the power cord from the computer, plugging it into my kilowatt meter. Idling on the desktop with nothing open, it uses 77 watts of electricity. The computer CPU idles at about 45 degrees Celsius, and the maximum CPU temperature that's been recorded is 77 degrees Celsius after gaming for a few hours. With one browser window open, watching a YouTube video, it uses 93 watts of electricity. And with just browsing the web, this thing is almost completely silent. You can just barely hear the case fans just barely spinning. And as far as the appearance, I really like the design. It kind of reminds me of something that Tesla would make. Playing Battlefield 4 on ultra resolution. It's using 472 watts And the case isn't very loud. I can feel some hot air coming out of the fan right there. But the fan noise isn't obnoxious. It's very tolerable. Got my Seek thermal camera hooked up to my phone, and it'll show me the temperatures. This is a look at the case temperatures with the computer idling on the desktop. The majority of the case is pretty cool, 84 degrees. The hottest part is up here at the top, 91, 94 degrees Fahrenheit. So this is at the top of the case where the liquid cooling radiator fan is blowing hot air out. In the Nvidia control panel, I've been messing around with the different refresh rates, and I can't tell a difference between 120, 100, and 85. I do tell a big difference between 60 and 85 though. But I've got it set for 85 Hertz. And I've also set up Battlefield 4 to max out at 85 frames per second to match the screen refresh rate. With the lowered settings, now it's only using 207 watts. The fans aren't spinning as loud, and I can tell there's not as lot of heat coming out of it as before. Here's the case after playing Battlefield for a little over an hour. Right now the hottest spot is 123 degrees. You can see right there, that's the graphics card blowing out the side of the case. And I have it set up, when you press the power button, the computer goes to sleep. And one thing I've noticed is when the computer is in sleep mode, the little alien head kind of strobes orange on and off, and as far as I can tell, there's no way to adjust that. And when it's in sleep mode, it's using 1 watt. And if I press it back on, the computer pretty much instantly comes back on. I fixed this problem by switching the power button from sleep to hibernate. So now when I press the power button, it goes into hibernation, and the lights are completely off. No annoying strobing light. And in hibernation it uses 0 watts. And it loads up just as quick as from sleep mode. So hibernation is the way to go. The PC runs great. I found 85 Hertz refresh rate is optimal for my usage, and it's best to set the power button to hibernate.